What's up, guys? This is the crypto market update. It's Thursday, August 10th. It's 12:13 p.m. and we're going to dive straight into it. So right now with the bond yields, let's go to the 12-hour chart. We can see that we came down earlier. Let me actually turn this down. We came down earlier this morning, then came back up. Let's go to like a 1-hour chart to see it better. Yeah, so we started to break down, pop back up. Probably have to fill a couple gaps up here before rolling back over. Going to the 12-hour chart, we do have the momentum to the downside and the blue's getting ready to cross by the pink. If we go to the dollar, I would say we're in the final phase as far as the dollar getting ready to melt down. We've been covering on the 4-hour chart so we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the 6th, we break the zero line and then we have a dollar meltdown. This is July 7th all the way into July 14th. That was a week of when we saw the altcoins like XRP, XLM go up. So looking at that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And then we're headed to the 6th one. So on the 6th one, we just need to see us break down below the zero line, and then we'll see the dollar melt down. So looking at this, it happened on a Friday on July 7th. We could see it happen tomorrow, August 11th. So about 30 or 33 days later. So we're getting close, not quite there yet though. And looking at the dollar, we started to break down this morning. We touched this 200 moving average and then we pop back up. So it's starting to look like we're almost there, but we keep getting popped back up. But on the 4-hour chart, once we see that go below the zero line, we're going to be good to go. And we could see that by tomorrow. So what I'm expecting is rejection to come in here pretty soon on this trend line. And, we could pop up a little bit more. But really, we're super close as far as the dollar. And it just needs to have a little bit of a down move and it will cross below that zero line on the TSI. And then we'll see the dollar melt down. And every single time that's happened, we've seen that be the case. So now let's look at the total crypto market cap. We go to the daily chart and we're struggling to get above this key resistance. We need to get it back above 1.15 trillion, 1.53 trillion to 1.165 trillion. And if that's the case, then we'll be good to take off. But for now, we're just kind of ranging in this wedge right now. We have until like the end of August for this move to pan out. So we could go sideways to the end of August. That could be in the cards. So we just need to see that dollar break down. The altcoin market cap, we go to the daily chart. We're struggling to get above the 200 moving average here. We really need to get back above 345 billion. Until then, we can't really have a big spike in the altcoins until then, but we're getting close as far as the pink's trying to come up, the blue's coming down. The stock RSI is curling back over though. The TSI is kind of idle right now. So it's the calm before the storm. We could see one more move down and then go up, or we could see a tiny move down, then go up. I don't expect a substantially bigger move down though. I think we're closer to the bottom than not. So looking at the Bitcoin dominance, going to the weekly chart. Actually, let's go to a daily chart. And we see that we broke this trend line here. So we broke this trend line. We're having a confirmation candle today as far as the breakdown of this. And then we had the trend line coming down like this, acting as resistance. So we're at the beginning of the move for Bitcoin dominance to roll over and for the altcoins to start kicking up. We just need to see this ultimately come back down and break this level so we can melt down to here. And then at that point, that'll be like a mini moon, but really the mega moon would be coming from when we break that 200 moving average and come down here. Then looking at others dominance, we're still wedging up. We have until the end of this month for a breakout move to happen, but we have a 1-day prepare to buy soon signal for the others dominance. And then actually that was a 12-hour, but you can see that we're wedging up here and there's going to have to be a decision being made. And getting above this key level, the fib overlap zone, the 200-day moving average will be the seal of the deal. Because ever since back in 2022, we've been below the 200-day moving average, rejected, and we're at it right now. And then we have this wedge of these long-term trend lines. So it only has until the end of August to make a decision. And I think it's going to be up for the altcoins. For Bitcoin right now, we're at 29,376. We popped up to 30K. We got rejected, came back down. If we look at this, we would need to see from this low to this high. We could come back down to 29K flat, hold that support, and then have a bigger bounce back up. So like something down like this, and then come back up like that. or we could have one last little crash down to that level, and then we fire up very quickly like this. So those are the scenarios that could pan out. And then you have this trend line coming down like this. That would coincide with that as well too. So that could be the scenario that could play out. And that wouldn't be of like a panic mode, because we're just testing a key level. You know, this is a level that has served as support resistance since 2022, you know? So we tested the top bit, we could come down. If we look at the Fib forecaster, yeah, the shaded zone right here is the key level. So really holding here would be the first step. But if we can't, then coming down to 27.8K is critical. But looking on the 12-hour chart for Bitcoin, we need to get above cleanly this TSI 0 line. And then we need to see the stock RSI hold that 50 line. If we don't, and we see this cross down, then we probably will have a more down move. But then at that point, like if we went like that, I think we would fire up like this from that point, and then everything would be ready to go. And we have some like, we're building some nice higher highs, higher lows on the TSI, even though we've been kind of going flat here. So we're trying to build that strength to go up. And we could be at a move like this, looking at the 12-hour chart with the RSI, we got back above this 50 line, came back down. We're holding as support right now. That's why it's so critical for us to hold these levels. We could be doing something like here, June 17th, before we start to rock it up. But that remains to be unseen. Looking at XRP though, we're close to, I believe, another big move, because if we look at kind of how we reacted back here and looking at these indicators, so what happened back here was at this point, we got above the TSI 0 line on the 12-hour, on the 4-hour chart, and then we came back below. And then at that point, when we crossed right back up, that was the big move. So, and then looking at the MACD, kind of how it's reacting as well too, this was just a bigger correction of what this was, so we're doing the same thing just on a bigger scale. And looking at it, we already had this big MACD move. We came down, we're just starting our first red. So we have maybe 24 hours of just a little red. But as soon as we see this 4-hour TSI cross up back above that 0 line, it's game on. It's game on at that point. So holding steady for now, waiting for that to happen until I get greased up. But for now, maintaining, watching this and watching the key support. And then we have the 786 at 0.6114. So that's what I'm seeing as far as that goes. And looking at the similar pattern, so this is saying that if we're looking at this, we should see one more kind of move down and then going sideways like this. And I wouldn't say we'd come all the way down there. We could just hold there and then kind of upwards drift and then break this trend line coming down. And then we should see a rip. So that's what I'm watching as far as XRP goes. And the same thing's going to hold true for XLM. And honestly, looking at it on XLM might be a little easier. So at XLM, we're mimicking this exact move right now, like literally mimicking this exact move to a T. So what this says is we should see one more kind of downwards move, probably test the 786 from this low to the high up here, or maybe, we drag it to the bodies. So from this low to this high, come down, test the 786, then we kind of upwards drift. We break the short-term trend line coming down like that, and then we're ready to rattle. So this is saying by tomorrow, we should be ready to rattle. I don't think it's going to be something like this, although that would be nice, but this kind of similar pattern and kind of what we're doing back here is playing out the same over here. And I could even drag the whole thing. You can see that it's lining up. It's lining up as far as that goes, the same similar movements. So that's what I'm watching as far as XLM, XRP, Bitcoin, the dollar, bond yields. And yeah, so for now, we just got to wait. But the future is looking much more brighter than the past couple months here as far as the crypto market goes and how boring it's been. Bitcoin just needs to get out of the dirt. And I think we're closer to that point than not. So that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link is in the bio, and I'll see you in the next video.